to see you and welcome to the Magical Mystery School. So today I'm going to do Introduction 2 because I realized, as always, I forgot a few things. The first thing, just a small thing, I forgot to mention that in these classes, in these lessons on astrology, or I'll be doing tarot later on and so. I will be repeating stuff a lot and actually kind of repeating things in almost like a chant-like form, because what we're trying to do here is build these synapses in your brain. And what that is like these pathways. And the more and more and more and more you repeat something, the stronger and better and longer lasting those pathways will be. So we want to make sure that we get all of our Aries first house, second house Taurus, third house Gemini, fourth house Cancer, all those good things just get embedded in your brain. Okay, and the second thing I totally forgot to say in the first introduction was, why me? Why in the heck should you listen to me? Duh. Well, the main reasons, I've been studying astrology now for, I hate to admit it, but it's getting probably around 40 years. Oh my gosh. I mean, that's from when I started taking classes and stuff. But even before that, when I was a little teeny tiny little girl, I was always fascinated by astrology. I can remember finally begging my mother to let me get one of those little, they had these little tiny Dell books that you could get at the grocery store. And I remember getting one of those and looking up my sun sign and finding out I'm a Sag. And thinking, oh my God, that's like the best sign in the whole world. And just remember too, with your sun sign, it's real. It is who you are, but it's also what you want to be best at, what you want to go forward with in life, and that kind of thing. And I'm just like, if you see some smoke wafting by, I'm not smoking cigarettes here. I just got some incense burning. Anyway, so I got those little books and just fell in love with astrology. And you will find, I've also heard this, that if you believe in past lives, if you do have a super fascination with astrology, and especially if astrology comes really easy to you, because some people are going to pick it up just like this, some people it's going to take more work. Maybe instead of learning it, you're just remembering it. So just keep that in mind, that if some of this stuff seems to be coming to you really well, maybe you studied this before a long time ago. So keep that in mind. Let's see. So besides that, just being, reading my little Dell books, I can also remember I was totally always fascinated by mythology. The gods on Olympus and Pegasus and all the, Mercury going back and forth, Persephone getting snitched down into Hades and stuff like that. I loved all the mythology. And even like I can remember one time in science class, we were supposed to do a science project, and I actually put together like all the constellations and with styrofoam balls and little balsa wood sticks, and so they'd hang from the ceiling. So you'll look back at your life at what have you been most fascinated by. Maybe there's a reason for that. So keep that in mind if there's something that you really enjoyed it throughout your whole life. I can even remember one time in I was a landscape architect. Oops, there's my bell. But Big Ben and Little Ben, I guess we should call it. One time, we were doing a courtyard project, and I designed this like walk-in sundial so that you could walk in, and when the sun would shine on you, it would tell the time. So I was just always fascinated with stuff like that. Let's see. So, and then, when I was about in my mid-20s or so, I was house sitting for this guy and feeding the cats, watering the plants, that sort of thing. And over in the corner of his house, he had this astrology chart actually under glass, which I thought was very interesting. And it was beautiful. And then I noticed down in the corner was a little address and phone number for the astrologer, and it was a local gal. This is way back, there was no internet at that time. And, called her up and got an appointment. And that's the other thing. If you are really interested in astrology, I would recommend you getting your chart done. That's one of the first things. And that way you can really see if it works for you or not. And typically, most people, when they go get their astrology reading, the first thing they just come back kind of blown away. Like, oh my God, this is... usually an astrologer will nail you on something from your past. Like, for me, it was like a broken arm that I got when I was 11. The gal just, bam, got that right on the nose. And it's like, oh, okay, I guess there is something to this. Anyway, and she also taught a bunch of classes. So I went through and did all her classes. And, and I forgot something. So let me put you on pause right quick here. Okay, sorry about that. But I just also wanted to mention, not only are there just tons of great classes out there, and if you can find someone local, that's really nice, because then you can make friends with other astrologers or aspiring astrologers and say, ooh, what does it mean if, your Mercury is in Aquarius or something like that. So you've got someone you can talk about things with and such. But beyond classes, there are conferences all over the United States. And that's why I wanted to show you this. Here's a really great magazine. I love this guy, The Mountain Astrologer. And it has just, tons of, advertisements and just great articles and just where the planets are during the certain times and that sort of thing. So, what's happening currently, where are the planets and such. So that's another really good resource also. And then just good old YouTube. What's nice is you can almost interview an astrologer just by watching how they present themselves in a YouTube channel. So just remember, astrology is a lifetime study. Oh, and readings. You may ask, well, why aren't you doing readings? Well, I did. I did do readings for a while. Back, now it's been many years, several years at this point. But, I had a full-time job. And to really go, most astrologers I've known, they've kind of transitioned. Like maybe they had a job where they can eventually go part-time and then kind of eventually become a full-time astrologer. It's really hard to just quit your job and become a full-time astrologer. So maybe I'm a little lazy, and I just enjoyed I was a professor at the school that I taught landscape design. And that's kind of, for me, I really consider myself a teacher more than anything. But when I did do readings, I enjoyed them. But then I tell you what, I'll never forget this one gal that came in for a reading. And she didn't have not just one, not just two, but 3 grand squares in her chart. And you'll find out what that means. But they're also called grand crosses. They are as scary as they sound. Or just, I shouldn't say that. It's difficult energy to have a grand cross in your chart, much less 3 of them. So to be a really good astrologer, you also have to be able to deliver some bad news to people. Then tell them, you're just, I don't see any love in your chart for the next 2 years. Eek. I know, this can be tough. But that's also the great thing about astrology. You can also say, if you get through this next 18 months, things are going to start coming like you won't believe. So it does help you get through the rough spots too. And to be forewarned is to be forearmed. So anyway, I hope you have gotten a little bit out of this about what astrology is. And just like I said, it's a lifetime study. I'm still finding out there's new asteroids coming out and Quaker belt elements and There's harmonics and progressions and solar arcs, and like I said, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger the more and more you study it. So I hope I can provide you with some of the basics to get you going. So just remember, from there to here, from here to there, funny things are everywhere. And like and subscribe. Love you. So hopefully we'll see you in the astrology lessons. Bye-bye.